Hello again. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Jill. This is my YouTube channel where for the next year or so you can follow along as I completely abstain from all fillers and Botox and use only platelet-rich plasma at home with microneedling or mesotherapy. So today I'm going to show you how to use the Easy Injector mesotherapy device. So I just want to say just a couple things about living in this new COVID reality. Considering the state of affairs right now across the world, I don't feel comfortable going to an aesthetic clinic for any sort of treatment. I even just recently finally had my hair cut, and here in Hong Kong, things are quite a bit different than they are in the rest of the world, so it is quite safe to go out and do some of these things. But even considering the relative safety of the situation in Hong Kong, I still wouldn't feel comfortable going to have Botox or any sort of injection during the time of this outbreak. So again, all that to say is having a mesotherapy device available to me has just made me feel a little bit more normal. As unnormal as this may seem to be doing at home, being able to take control over my skin, keep things going in the direction that I want them to go, that's really helped me sort of feel more normal during this very uncertain time. And if you're having those same experiences, I hope that you'll share them with me because I'd love to hear about it. So what I'm going to do is numb my skin. I am going to inject my platelet-rich plasma into this syringe using a blunt tip needle. And I'll go through some of the settings that I'll be using when I start my mesotherapy treatment. Before we get started, I thought maybe I would just do a really quick skin check-in with you so you can see some of my progress over the last, I guess it's like 8 months now, since October. Is that right? Yeah, wow, that's amazing. So yeah, I mean, I am obviously not objective, but these videos will help keep me honest. But I certainly feel that, that my skin has never looked better, truly. A lot of my fine lines and wrinkles have really diminished. I don't have any of those sort of like deep set nasolabial folds that I had treated so many years ago with filler now. And the most exciting thing, really, is that I don't feel like I need Botox in my forehead. I'm gonna do a quick zoom in so that you can see for yourself. And I am wearing some makeup. I'm not wearing a ton of makeup. I have like very little foundation on. So I think you're getting a fairly true picture of my skin right now. Anyway, here you go. You can see I still have these static lines over my forehead, over my eyebrow, but they are not bad. Maybe a little less on this side. And then a couple little laugh lines on the side of my mouth. But in terms of like the area right here and here, my nasolabial folds, when I'm at rest, there's really nothing going on there. And my under eye trough on both sides, I feel like I have much less sort of darkness in that area and more volume. So those are some areas that I've certainly noticed that they're looking good, and I think a lot of that is due to using platelet-rich plasma. I wanted to just give you some tips on numbing. As I've said before, I don't show the product that I numb with because it's prescription only. So I'm looking for a good over-the-counter numbing gel, but there's not a lot available here in Hong Kong. In any event, what I do is I put the numbing gel all over my skin, and then I take a mask. Sometimes I just like rinse one out that I don't care about. And while it's still damp, I put it on top of the numbing gel, and it really helps the numbing gel to soak in. It keeps it in place, keeps it from, you know, getting in my eyes or in my mouth. And yeah, when you are ready to take it off, it's actually kind of easy too to use the mask itself to rub off all the excess. So yeah, I like this little trick. You can buy plastic masks. They have disposable ones, and then they have reusable ones as well. I have a reusable one that should be, again, a lot of things coming in the mail right now. But yeah, should be here hopefully in the next few weeks. So I'll be sure to show you what that looks like. So I am properly numb. First things first, always, 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 I use some rubbing alcohol to cleanse my skin. Well, I don't know that I'd call it cleansing. We'll say disinfect, that's more accurate. So I mentioned before that I had played around with the Easy Injector. I actually filmed a whole video, but it wasn't great. I'm hoping to share some of my mistakes with you so that you don't make the same ones. Okay, so as you can see, I have the Easy Injector all set up, ready to go, except I don't have my platelet-rich plasma in the syringe. So I'm gonna show you how I do that. And I'm gonna take off the needle cartridge first. I'm just going to use, this is a blunt tip needle, and I'm just drawing my platelet-rich plasma out of the syringe here. You can see here all the red blood cells are stopped by this gel in between, and all that's left here is the good stuff. So here's what you're left with. And I have pretty much exactly 6 mils of PRP. Okay, so I'm turning on the Easy Injector. It's the middle button. And I am taking the plunger all the way down with the down button. Okay, when it starts to make you'll hear a sound that you know that it's all the way down. And then just press the power button again, taking my platelet-rich plasma and slowly just injecting it into the 5 ml syringe. There's no need to fill it all the way up to the top. So now I am putting on the needle head. And actually, I'm detaching it from the filter simply to make it easier to screw on. And you can see that I'm twisting above the base. The base is this ring here. That controls the needle depth. You don't want to be twisting from there. You want to twist from the top. And the syringe will want to move on you. So you have to sort of hold the syringe and turn at the same time. And then you also have to make sure that this part is facing down when you're done putting it on. So now I'm reattaching the vacuum tube to the filter. Slides right on. And I'm going to move the plunger up so that all of the liquid is at the top of the syringe ready to inject. And you do that by holding down the button. Just one press won't get you there. Okay, so I can see that the liquid is almost all the way to the top. I'm gonna press it one more time to get the bubbles out. There we go. So, as I mentioned in the last video, you have to control the needle depth manually by twisting the base of the needle. I have it set at what I would think could be something around 1 millimeter, maybe a little bit more, but I'm gonna start out with that. Okay, so when you just turn the Easy Injector on, that's the screen that you're looking at. It says syringe 5 cc's. You can change it to 10 cc's or 1 cc. But since we're dealing with 5 cc here, that's what you want. The mode, when you're using the vacuum, is always going to be dose. You don't want continuous. The amount that's on here right now is 200 microliters. So you press the middle on-off button and it will select the area to change. So right now I'm on syringe. So then you use the up and down buttons to change it. So I want 5 cc's, so I selected 5 cc's. You hit the middle button again to change the category. I'm at dose. Now the amount for some reason is set at 1,000 microliters. That's the highest. The lowest is 50. So I'm going to start at 250. And the speed is at 5. And to be honest, I don't really understand the speed yet. So we'll just have to play around with that. And then you press the middle button again and it's set. Ready to go. Okay. I'm going to start over here. You want to keep a flush 90-degree angle. I'm very numb, I can't feel anything right now. And then you just press the trigger button. So tiny little pinprick there. Let's try it again. The interesting thing is there is no serum, no platelet-rich plasma on top of my skin. Like, that's amazing. That one there is a tiny little bit. Now, I know that I do have some pinpoint bleeding here. I am going to sort of just dab that. I can't even feel the vacuum pulling my skin in right now, so I am quite numb. There is a little bit of serum in the trough here. I just took a really quick break there because I was noticing something. I was noticing some platelet-rich plasma in the vacuum tube. It was getting from the trough of the needle. So I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't any liquid in the tube, because anytime there's gonna be liquid in the tube, you're not gonna have as good of a section. So I just kind of pinched it out, and then I made sure that my connections between the needle and the filter with the tube were as tight as possible. Now, I don't know how much you can see here, but I have like these nice little, almost look like bubbles underneath the skin, and that's where the platelet-rich plasma is being deposited. So that's what you want to see when you are using the Easy Injector for mesotherapy. Okay, let's keep going. So you don't want to go over the spots that you already that you already did. So I'm just going to keep moving along here. A little bit of liquid there, and I think on the spots on the areas of your space that are not flat, that you can't get a perfect section, you probably are going to notice a little bit of discharge from the gun. The nice thing about the needle cartridge, okay, so there I am losing some product, that's not awesome. The nice thing about the square needle cartridge is you can see exactly where you've been. That makes it easy for you to make sure you're not doing more than you should. I'm gonna go to this side now. When I didn't have a perfect suction between my skin and the needle cartridge. As soon as you kind of make a slight adjustment so that the needle cartridge is flush with your face, it will grab and then inject. So again, you can see here, a little bit of pinpoint bleeding, but I've got these nice deposits underneath the skin that shows me that this device is actually injecting, which is so cool. Because I am having a little bit of an issue with the liquid, the platelet-rich plasma coming out of the needles, I am just trying to keep my head back, just so it doesn't run all over my face. I'm down to 1 mil here. So I've done both upper cheeks and around my tear trough, which is really the area that I wanted to get. And compared to the last time I did this, this is a way better result, I have to say. I'm noticing way more of these little bubble patches underneath the skin. Now, here's a good comparison. You can see on this side, they're quite prominent, but on this side, they have already faded. So it's nothing to be concerned about. It's there is going to be just a little bit of inflammation, but I think the last time I did this, I had one tiny bruise, and then otherwise you wouldn't be able to tell at all that I had done any sort of skin treatment, other than the fact that my skin looked great the next day. Okay. Maybe just do like 1 or 2 more in the cheek area, and then move on to my forehead. So it's important to really get like a good pressure on here. I think that's one way you can ensure that you're going to have a flush surface for the needle to penetrate. Okay, and yeah, that's it for this syringe. You can see that's empty. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to detach the needle from the syringe. Okay, this kind of annoys me. I just drew up a whole milliliter, almost 2 milliliters from the actual needle cartridge. It was all kind of collecting in the bottom. Okay. Learning so much today. So I have like a full 3 mils to go still, which is great because I was sort of like annoyed that I'd only done like, I don't know, half or 3/4 of my face. So yeah, we got lots more to do. Okay, so putting the plunger back up, checking that I have a really good lock on the vacuum, which I do. Okay, let's keep going. And I'm gonna be checking this reservoir under the needle cartridge to see if that starts to fill up, and if it is, then I'll drain it with my needle. I'm really awkward right now, aren't I? Okay, that does seem to be helping. Like, I'm not noticing like just a couple of drops, but really not much. Okay, now it's dripping all over the place. What the hell? All right, let's do the forehead. Oh, and it's like, it's dripping on me. Okay, I knew I was gonna make some mistakes even on my second try. All right, so that was partly my fault, maybe not the needle. I had turned the needle cartridge like down to 0, so when I pressed the trigger button, it was just shooting PRP out. Oops. Okay, needle is up. I am watching what's happening. There is still some fluid in the chamber under the needle. That didn't do anything, and I can't really tell if there's a bunch of fluid at the bottom. Filter was not pushed in all the way. Okay, all right. Learning. Okay, here's a little thing I did find though. When serum's collecting in the bottom of the needle cartridge, you can just reverse the plunger and that will draw it down into the syringe. Let's keep going. Okay, those are all successful. And again, because I'm seeing some serum in the bottom of the cartridge, I'm just gonna pull the plunger down. Yeah, it brings it down nicely. That's good. All right. So that's a bit annoying if you have to do that every couple of injections, but at least you're not losing serum all over the place. Okay, that's working. Okay, again, bring down the plunger, brings all that good stuff down. That's good to know. Okay, I'm less frustrated now than I was 2 minutes ago. Sorry for all the beeping. Okay, I'm gonna increase the amount just to see what that does. Okay, just because when I decreased it to 150 microliters, it was just taking too long. So I put it at 300, let's see what happens. This will be the last one. Okay, that was a good one in my forehead. And we are done. Okay. Let me just clean up here a sec. Okay, well, I did it. Okay, I definitely encountered some issues with the Easy Injector. But I think I solved them. So I injected a full 6 milliliters of platelet-rich plasma underneath my skin. Despite the issues that I had, I actually had very little wastage, so that's good. I definitely have more pinpoint bleeding than I did the first time I tried it, but I'm quite confident that this is all going to be gone tomorrow. I might have a couple little bruises on some of the areas where I had some of the deeper penetration, but otherwise I think it's going to be just fine. So here's what I'm going to do now. Because all the platelet-rich plasma is underneath my skin, I don't really have to be so concerned about washing it off. Although I do feel like there's a little tiny bit of a crust on top of my skin, but it's certainly nothing like what you would feel with microneedling and platelet-rich plasma. So I'm actually gonna put on a mask now. This is a snail mucin mask from this Korean brand that I love called Etude House. I've used this before. It's very soothing, but it also has a lot of peptides too for healing. So I think snail mucin will be perfect for my skin after mesotherapy. Okay, guys, I thought that went really well. I hope you can learn from my mistakes. I hope you like this video. I'm happy to respond to any comments, so fire away. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I had fun filming that. It was definitely interesting. Again, like I said, pain was very, very minimal, especially if you are going to use numbing cream, so I'd highly recommend that. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.